I don't know what the problem was with there, but Red Rumours is back on the United stand. Welcome to the United stand and Red Rumours. Bit of a problem there with the intro, not too sure. But anyway, bit of a problem with Manchester United's midfield at the moment. Lots of negativity around Manchester United. I think I agree with it. I agree with a lot of that negativity around the way we're playing football at the moment. But it's our responsibility as fans, with a big week coming up against Sevilla in Champions League and Chelsea next Sunday, that we also display some positivity. These games have not happened yet. We did beat Huddersfield at the weekend. And how do we improve? And I think the one area that we would all agree with that Manchester United have a huge problem with at the moment is the midfield. And in looking at that, there are 3 midfielders that Manchester United need to sign this summer to change that issue. The midfield is the problem. The midfield is called the midfield because it's in the middle of the pitch. I think we've got a really strong attack, and I was really impressed by Lukaku at the weekend. You've got Alexis Sanchez, Martial, Lingard on his day can be good. Mata's very consistent. I think Rashford will bounce back. You've got a defence that's got Eric Bailly coming back, and the defence is pretty good, to be fair. We've got a world-class goalkeeper. The big problem with Manchester United is certainly the midfield 3. That is where we are struggling at the moment. And I've got 3 midfielders that Manchester United need to sign to improve. And it is an overhaul. I think pull Pogba apart, it's an overhaul. You know, McTominay's a kid, give him time. Carrick is gone at the end of the season, we know that. So Carrick's gone. Fellaini probably should go, looks like he's going as well. Herrera, I love Ander Herrera, but his form this season when we've needed him, for whatever reason, and maybe the truth will come out, maybe Mourinho's treated him badly, maybe he's lost focus and wants to go to Barcelona, whatever that truth is, Ander Herrera should have been doing better this season. It's not been good enough. And Matic, well, Matic is going to be here next year, but, Matic I'm a bit on the fence with anyway. But Matic and Pogba are the 2 midfielders. We want to play a midfield 3. I think you need at least 5 midfielders. So I say we need to sign at least 2 midfielders, potentially 3. And it will be 3 if we sign 2, which I'll explain in a moment. But Matic won't be going anywhere, says Damien Hosty. And a manager will be a good signing, says more. Okay, well, let's get into it. What a lot of you were saying, I was looking at the early squad, big shout out to the early squad. They were talking about it because they can see the video titles, and there was a lot of midfielders mentioned. Milinkovic-Savic, Seri from Nice, Jean-Michel Seri, Julian Weigl from Borussia Dortmund, Toni Kroos from Real Madrid, Fabinho, Jorginho from Napoli. Who else? Lots of other players out there that a lot of you have mentioned. And I will tell you now, straight away, disclude Seri from Nice. He's 26, he's too small for Mourinho anyway, but he does have a condition, it is true, around chilblains and cold weather. He can't train when it's cold and he gets really bad pain. Now, maybe that... He seems to be getting linked to a lot of clubs, but if he gets linked to Liverpool and Manchester United, it gets cold there. So are we going to sign somebody who's got a medical condition like that? And I don't think we need to anyway. I think there's a lot better options out there than him. Please do drop a like if you like the return of Red Rumours, by the way. We will be Monday, 1 o'clock live every week with Red Rumours now. It's got its slot back and it's back. So let's start off with the first player I want to talk about, and it's not a surprise, is it, to any of you? Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. He is the image on the thumbnail, and look, I think I did an article on the website this morning talking about Jose Mourinho's obsession with height, and it is an obsession because you would think with height. Now, every corner we have. You've got Fellaini when he plays, 6'4". Matic plays a lot, 6'4". McTominay played at the weekend, 6'4". 3 biggest midfielders in the league. You've then got Pogba, 6'3", Lukaku, 6'3", Smalling, 6'4". That is 5 giants in the penalty box every time we have a corner. When was the last time we scored a corner? When was the last time before that? We're terrible at crosses. So Mourinho's obsession with height isn't, even if we agreed with that obsession with height, which many of us don't because we don't want to be a long ball team, it isn't an offensive one anyway. We're not doing it in an attacking sense. So why is he obsessed with height when, to be fair, height players tend to be very slow and not so good on the ball? And certainly I think that's very much the case with McTominay, Fellaini and Matic. They're not as good on the ball as people like Dembele at Spurs or Fernandinho at Man City. They're not quick across the ground and they're not quick with the ball. So why is Mourinho so obsessed with slow midfielders? They were very tall in his midfield. Defence. Mourinho is a defensive coach. We know that. We want him to change. I think he can change. But he likes midfielders who are very tall because in the last 20 minutes of games, when teams are pelting the long ball into the box, you nullify one of their attacks. You absolutely nullify it. They're going to have to pass the way through you because the long ball into the box, you pretty much kill it when you've got 6'5" Smalling, 6'4" Matic, 6'4" Fellaini. That's why they're around in the last 20 minutes of games, to stop people from scoring goals. And that's why Mourinho does it. It's also to bring some physicality to his midfield. So the problem many Manchester United fans have is that, well, Mourinho obviously loves height. We've still conceded goals from balls into the box. You know, it's not been perfect, but that's why Mourinho does it. That is the simple truth. So what do we want as fans? Well, if Mourinho is never going to change away from his obsession with height, we want tall players like Pogba, who are good footballers as well. So 6'3", but fast, good on the ball, can run with the ball at pace, can switch the ball. He's got really, you know, can switch the play over 30, 40 yards. He's a bit of a... He's the perfection. He's the perfect player for Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. It's the perfect marriage. Mourinho's obsessed with height. Manchester United fans want quick attacking football. Pogba ticks all those boxes. So he's got Pogba. He needs somebody else. This is where Milinkovic-Savic comes in. He is 6'4". I think he turns 23 later this month. So young, fast, tall, good on the ball, scores goals. A lot of people relate him to Paul Pogba in his style of play. He can be box to box. And if you think about it, even if we just signed Milinkovic-Savic, Pogba on the left-hand side of a midfield three, Milinkovic-Savic on the right-hand side of a midfield three, Matic holding that midfield, that's a three-man midfield where everybody, well, you've got two 6'4", one 6'3", but two of those midfielders are very good on the ball and very fast. It's Mourinho's fantasy, and it also ticks the box for Manchester United fans that we've got a midfielder there who is like Pogba, but Mourinho's height obsession helps there. Matthew McFadden's in a bit of an argument on the live comments. Please respect the moderators, everybody. Let's sign up Olivier Holt from Chicago Fire, says Hallam88955. And Man United just says Pogba, Matic and Savic would be a good midfield three. Look, yeah, I'd be happy with that because I do rate Milinkovic-Savic and I rate Pogba, and Matic can run that midfield. And you know, Matic in a holding role, you're not so reliant on his pace. And I think that's where Matic needs to be next season. He's too slow in a midfield too, and it doesn't suit Pogba in a midfield too. But having said that, all right, so we've got Milinkovic-Savic in, we've got Matic, we've got Pogba. That's our midfield three. Carrick's still left. Fellaini still hopefully leaves. Herrera, God knows what's going to happen with him. That leaves us with Scott McTominay. One midfielder isn't going to be enough for Manchester United. So we need to bring somebody else in. So my signing number 2 would be, not you, Fosu-Mensah. Fosu-Mensah. No, Fabinho. Fosu-Mensah popped up on my screen. He didn't cock up, he popped up. I don't know why Fosu-Mensah is even in there. But Fabinho. Fabinho is the man I would go for. Now, what Fabinho brings you, Jose, if you're watching, he is 6'2", so he ticks that box of being over 6 foot. But Fabinho gives you mobility. Now, if we're talking about that midfield three there of Pogba on the left-hand side of a midfield three, Milinkovic-Savic on the right-hand side of a midfield three, and Matic holding, I always wanted Fabinho over Matic. And I would kick Matic out of the team and make him the sub and bring Fabinho in. I would love a midfield three of Fabinho, Pogba on the left and Milinkovic-Savic on the right. Because you've got physicality. Again, you tick in the height thing because he's 6'2". But what you get with Fabinho and what you get with Pogba and Milinkovic-Savic is mobility. And I think the biggest problem Manchester United have at the moment, and I don't want to go down this negative route again of criticising the performance at the weekend. There were some people left out. We have got a lot of injuries, but that midfield three of Carrick, Matic and McTominay was so slow it was going backwards. And the ability on the ball, all I can hear about positive things about McTominay, Carrick and Matic's performances. Oh, you can't knock them, they kept it simple. We're Manchester United. I don't see Spurs keeping it simple. I don't see Man City keeping it simple. This is our midfield. This is the engine room. You can't just keep it simple. That's where creativity comes from. You need people in that midfield three demanding the ball off the back four and feeding the ball fast to the front three. We need people in that midfield who, when a pass isn't on, they drive forward and run at people and create space. Keeping it simple makes it very simple to defend against. You get yourself set, You know they're not going to play passes between the lines. You know they're not going to run with the ball between the lines. Manchester United's midfield three got overrun at the weekend. Now, if you took Matic out of that midfield and brought Fabinho in with Pogba and Milinkovic-Savic ahead, you've got a midfielder there who is quick across the ground, is good on the ball, and is tenacious in the tackle, and he looks to pass forward. Effectively, look at what Fernandinho does at Man City. Now, whether you like him or not, he breaks up the play fast and he feeds those better attacking players in front of him. That's what United need. They need a go-getter, a terrier. Somebody who can put their foot in, who ticks the box that Mourinho wants of height. Fabinho, we've been linked for him a long time. I wanted him over Matic anyway. I would love Fabinho to come to Manchester United. And for me, he's got to be one of those two signings we make in the midfield. Now, there will be three, which I'll come to in a minute. But Manchester United, there are a lot of options out there. We spoke about Jorginho at Napoli. He's just a second-rate Milinkovic-Savic. You've got to go for Milinkovic-Savic, and I know Man City are interested and other people will, and he will cost a lot of money. Fabinho, again, Man City are probably going to be in for him, but you've got to go for those first choices. And I think Milinkovic-Savic gives you that attacking box-to-box right-sided midfielder with Pogba on the left. Fabinho comes in and replaces Carrick with some ability on the ball. We know how good Fabinho is. I really wanted him last summer. All right, there's a risk that he's going to come from a foreign club, foreign league, and he might not settle in the Premier League. You've always got that risk. But look at how bad Bakayoko has been this season. And it just enhances the ability and reputation of Fabinho that he was carrying him in that midfield. Fabinho, perfect for Manchester United. I wish we'd got him and not Matic. And that's no bad reflection on Matic, but Matic was always a player for now. Matic had to come in now and be good because he's 30 this season. Next season he's 31, so we don't have long with Matic, and already nobody knows whether he's injured, tired, or just regressing. But Fabinho, I think he's 25 in October, so 24 and a half. Perfect. Go and get him. Go and get both these midfielders. I don't care if we don't sign any defenders or we don't sign any attackers. If we can bring Milinkovic-Savic and Fabinho in, it changes the dynamic of our team massively. Paul Pogba's career will go from mediocre up and down, consistently brilliant with those two midfielders in there. He's carrying that midfield. We've seen it so much this season. Paul Pogba carries that midfield. If he has a bad game, United have a bad game. If he's missing, Manchester United look poor. We need support for Pogba in that midfield. He's got too much responsibility on his shoulders and not enough talent in that midfield. The midfield's the engine room, like I said, and that's what we need to go for. Traf Y2 says Nainggolan. Look, Nainggolan, Vidal are two players I've not mentioned. They are touching 30. They are coming towards the end of their careers. And they are midfielders, a bit like Schweinsteiger, that really we should have got 4 years ago. Both brilliant players. Both very similar to sort of Roy Keane sort of player. Wouldn't say no to either, but short-term gaps. I think we need to look a little bit long-term. I think a lot of Mourinho's signings at the moment seem to be late 20s, and I think we need to go a little bit younger. Like I say, Milinkovic-Savic just about to turn 23. Fabinho, 24 and a half. Exactly what we need with Pogba, who is mid-20s coming up for as well. So, yeah, that's where I would go. Please do drop a like on the video if you like Red Rumours and you like the fact that we're doing live content in the day as well. Pogba and Jose are cheated by Herrera, says John Sherrill. Look, Herrera hasn't stepped up to the plate this season. Bit of discussion going on there around Herrera. You know, I can't disagree with it. Now, the last player I want to bring in, the third signing for Manchester United. Now, would we make 3 midfield signings in the summer? Yes, we would. 2 of them have to be Fabinho and Milinkovic-Savic as far as I'm concerned. The third guy is Fosu-Mensah. A little bit of a spoiler a couple of minutes ago, but Fosu-Mensah has a contract with Manchester United till 2020. The next season after this one is 2018, 2019, so 2 seasons away for Fosu-Mensah. Sign him up on a new proper contract. That is the third signing we need to make this summer. Stick him in the midfield and watch this team go. Fosu-Mensah has been a revelation at right back for Crystal Palace this season. Had a bit of an up and down team, played under a different manager that got sacked in no time in De Boer. Had to convince Hodgson, and he has. And he's playing consistently, and Crystal Palace fans love him, and he is playing at right back. But many of us feel that Fosu-Mensah is a midfielder. One thing that you might not be aware of in relation to Fosu-Mensah, 6'3". 6'3". I mean, this defies belief why he's not even, he's got to be used next season. Let's forget this season. He should have been used this season, but he's not here. He's at Palace, and the loan move for him is a good one. But he's 6'3", and much like Pogba, he's an exception to the height rule. He is quick. He is good on the ball. He is tenacious. He gets along the ground. He's physical. He's tall. You watch Fellaini, for example, or you watch Matic. They're very slow and lethargic across the ground. When they've got the ball, it looks very laboured. But you look at Fosu-Mensah and you look at Pogba, fast, tenacious, quick on the ball. So it ticks the boxes of Mourinho. If Mourinho wants to play tall players, there's nothing we can do about it. But I think all we say as fans is, if they're going to be tall, let them be footballers. Let them be quick. Let them be good on the ball. And that's what Fosu-Mensah brings. Now, talking about Fabinho there, it would be a little bit of a risk. But you could almost say, let's just sign Milinkovic-Savic. Let's not sign Fabinho. Let's put Fosu-Mensah as the holding midfielder, Pogba to the left-hand side of him, and Milinkovic-Savic to the right. Now, I don't think Mourinho would do that because of the age of Fosu-Mensah. He's literally just turned 20, I think, in January. But this guy is... We've seen it already. I mean, it wasn't even last season. It was the season before he played under Van Gaal, didn't he? Played against Spurs away nearly 2 years ago and was man of the match at right back. He was brilliant, and he's ready, and he's doing it. And sign him on a long-term contract, put faith in this guy. I mean, this is what excites me about Manchester United and frustrates me. The style of football we're playing is boring because the midfield is slow and redundant of ideas. But we have got, in the next 6 months, a massive opportunity very quickly to change it. We've already got Paul Pogba. He's got to play in a midfield 3. But there's no point, like Pogba could play against Sevilla in a midfield 3 on Wednesday night, but he could play with McTominay and Matic. Well, McTominay's not ready for that, is he? And Matic is poor. He's in poor form. So Pogba's already up against it in that midfield 3. It's not the right midfield 3 for him, is it? You stick him in a midfield 3 with Milinkovic-Savic on one side, Fosu-Mensah or Fabinho behind him. You've got pace, you've got vision, you've got tenacity, and suddenly that's a midfield 3 that you think, wow, Pogba, Fosu-Mensah, Milinkovic-Savic, bring on Man City, bring on Juventus, bring on Real Madrid. That midfield 3 with a good back 4 that we've got, a world-class goalkeeper that we've got, and then whatever's going on ahead of them, whether it's Martial, Sanchez, Lukaku, or Lingard's in there, Mata's in there, Rashford's in there, that takes care of itself. But the problem with Manchester United this season is the midfield is lacking so much creativity, speed of thought, it's lethargic. That is the problem, and that is the problem we've got to solve. And I guarantee you that is what Mourinho is going to do. But obviously we're in the lap of gods as to who he's going to sign. But Fosu-Mensah, I mean, a lot of people might not realise he's 6'3", but he is. He loves a tackle. He's massive. Oh, he's so fast. He is so fast as well. I think he's the fastest player. I think it was Roshan Williams, who's one of the youth players, who broke the school record. I think it was Darren Campbell who used to sprint for Great Britain. Roshan Williams broke the school record that Darren Campbell set at school, funnily enough, when he was at school. He didn't go back now as a late teenager. And he was asked a question, who's the quickest player? And he says it's between me, Twansibi, Rashford and Fosu-Mensah, but Fosu normally wins. So we've got such pace and tenacity in our side. I mean, Twansibi, I nearly put him in, but, Fosu-Mensah's doing it in the Premier League for another club. It excites me, and I think he has to be used as a midfielder. But what I would say as well is, I just want to take some of your comments first. Best possible signing for Manchester United would be Kevin De Bruyne. Samuel Salin. No, it's not really what we need, mate. And I wouldn't want him anyway. He's a Man City player. What about Pereira, says David? Well, Pereira, I like Pereira, but it's debatable what's going to happen with him. Amantu says Fosu-Mensah's got everything to be a great centre midfielder. He's got the passing, he's tenacious, he's hard on the tackle, and he's clever. Exactly. I think he's the perfect CDM. I find United hard to watch at the moment with the boring style of play, says Damien Hosty. It comes from the midfield. The midfield is just tall and slow. His passing isn't good enough to be in the CDM, says MD Khaled. That's in relation to Fosu-Mensah. Well, it's got to be better than Fellaini. It's got to be better than McTominay. It's got to be... I mean, Matic's passing's not been great recently, so I wouldn't say it's any worse than any of those. And he's quicker and he's stronger. Even Twansibi can play there. Good on the ball, quick, brilliant positional sense, says John Sherrill. Yeah, I'd agree with that. If you're good enough, you're old enough, why protect them? We're holding them back. Play the youth, let them set up, says Liam Coughlin. Yes. And one thing I just want to say finally, because I did see a comment there and I couldn't see it. Somebody said, Mourinho will never play Fosu-Mensah, Twansibi next season. He won't use them. And Pereira's got no chance. That was the comment. What I would say to that is, Man United Herbert, you're wrong. He's 6'3". Do people think I just go out and make these things up about his height? Go and check Wikipedia for Fosu-Mensah. He's 6'3", surprised me, but he's definitely bigger than 6 foot. I thought he was 6'2". He's massive. What are your thoughts on Bakayoko? Because in my opinion, Fabinho made him top class midfielder, says Fortune. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Ewan Hacken's on about a clear out. Claret we know is going. Fellaini we hope is going. Herrera, I just think Herrera's bad form this season is because he wanted to go to Barcelona and we wouldn't let him last summer and his head's gone. Hopefully he can get it back for the end of this season. But what I wanted to say as well is, obviously we're in the lap of the gods in relation to what Mourinho is going to do in the summer. He's got to sign midfielders. I mean, if he thinks Manchester United's midfield future is a midfield of people like Fellaini and Matic and McTominay and slow football from tall giants, then we're in for a world of pain. I don't think he thinks that. I think he does want to bring people like Milinkovic-Savic in, hopefully Fabinho. He's already got Fosu-Mensah and Twansibi. Use these players. And what I wanted to add to that is that people talk about getting rid of Mourinho. I don't want that to happen. I just want him to do some of these things that we know need to be done. But what I will say, in fairness, because I never, ever, ever sort of give time of day to these comments, and they are mentioned a lot, and we are a fan channel, so it would be unfair not to. A lot of United fans in the live comments say, I want Pochettino, I want this manager, I want that manager. I will say categorically, if Pochettino was manager of Manchester United, then Fosu-Mensah and Twansibi would have played a lot more games this season. And I think that is a disappointment. But on the other hand, well, it's not... I can't defend Mourinho on it. Twansibi, I don't understand why he's not been used. And Fosu-Mensah, again, well, he's having a good loan at Crystal Palace, but look at the mess of our midfield. Why can he not? He could be what he's doing at Palace. He could be doing here. But Pochettino would be using these players. But I did say when I was very excited about getting Mourinho coming up for 2 years ago now in the summer, I did say, look. What Mourinho will do is win us a trophy, he'll win us a title, and that is what we need to do. I was very excited about Mourinho, and I still believe he's the right man. But if you go back to those videos from the day we got him, I did say, don't criticise him for not using the youth. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And he's doing it more at United than he's ever done it. But he's not that manager. It's disappointing, but it was one of the things when we got him, we spoke about and said he won't. It's not what he does. It's not what he does. He doesn't like doing it. That's why he picks Ashley Young instead of Luke Shaw. That's why he signs 29-year-olds. He prefers experience over the youth. He has to use people like Fosu-Mensah next season and hopefully Twansibi as well. Other managers would do that. But would Pochettino? What does Pochettino bring to Manchester United? How many trophies has he won? I mean, this is the thing. There's a balance. Is there a perfect manager out for Manchester United out there who has a proven pedigree of managing a big club, winning trophies and bringing youth through? And I don't think there is. The closest is Ancelotti, but I'm not too sure what his youth development record's like. We had the greatest manager there's ever been in Sir Alex Ferguson. And that's one thing I would defend Mourinho on. Look, he doesn't really use the youth. He likes experience, and that goes against a lot of what we want. But look at Pep Guardiola at Man City. Great youth talents. One of them's gone off to Borussia Dortmund to play football, and he's one of England's greatest talents coming through. He's not using the youth. He's just using a checkbook. So, but they're successful, so everyone's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. But we have to do it. We have to use the youth at United. But who is there to do that? Who's got the pedigree of Mourinho? It's a difficult one. So I don't think you can be critical of that. Simeone's a step backwards, is defensive. And as Matthew McFadden says, Ancelotti does not use the youth at all. Exactly. And if Mourinho walked, Ancelotti would be the manager I wanted at Manchester United. But I don't know anything about his youth record because I haven't followed him that much in relation to week and how he manages. Roberto Di Matteo would be better than Mourinho, says Bio Shafir. Yeah, he wouldn't, mate. If you knew what I've been told about Di Matteo, apparently it had nothing to do with Chelsea winning the Champions League. That was the team managing it. Twansibi, Pereira, Mensah, Gomez and Chong. Boy, we have talent in our ranks, says Kyle S. Yeah, we just need to use it. See, this is why when it comes to Jose Mourinho and people say, why do you keep standing by him, he'll never change? I say it because He is. He's got to change. There's too much youth coming through, and the football's not good enough. So he's got to change. Unless he wants to have the sack, he has got to change. Simple as that. And I'm sure he will do. For everybody in the live comments who are saying that Fosu-Mensah is 6 foot, don't believe them. Don't believe them. Check Wikipedia and check Transfer Market. He's 1.9 metres, which is 6.3. Quick maths. 6'3". Ty Tim, I miss Louis van Gaal's 80% possession almost every game. Yeah, but it was crap football. And in relation to Louis van Gaal, look, rubbish manager, bad signings, bad philosophy, bad attitude, weird personality. Did he play youth? Yes. Yeah, he did. Fosu-Mensah played 2 years ago. Obviously Rashford, he fell on Rashford really. He got a bit lucky with him, but he did do well. I don't want Jack Wilshere, and he's too small for Mourinho, thank God. Poch and Klopp is the two managers that trigger my spider senses, Biosphere. Fosu definitely over 6 foot, says Andrew. I know he is. It's just trolls in the live comments. Barger Power. Stop. Oh, just bye. How about Wagner Mancini for manager? He gets his players fighting, literally. I'll tell you what I did like. I did see a clip from Gattuso, AC Milan manager, yesterday. And one of their players was shaking hands with the opposition and he banged him on the back of the head and basically said, don't do it. Real passion. Probably extreme, but it made me think. I think that's what United need at the moment. They need that sort of kick up the backside. I think we've got too many egos and Mourinho's having a bit of a battle with them. And I just think, you know, Manchester United need that kick up the backside. Damien Hosty, you're wrong. He's 1.9 metres, which is 6'3". Stop arguing with facts out there. Thanks everybody for watching. Speak to you all soon. Unless you've got Fosu-Mensah in your bedroom and you're measuring with a tape measure, and to which case I would say give him back. He's 6'3". I've checked it on 3 credible websites. He's 6'3". And actually, if you look at him, he's bloody massive anyway. It's because he's 6 foot on FIFA. Well, that says it all. That says it all. Let's all go by FIFA. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do smash the like button. Red Rumours back Monday, 1 o'clock live. Hopefully it's a good time for people around the globe as well, because we have got global support. 8 o'clock tonight is your show, Skype show. Join us for that. We will be back at 8 o'clock tonight with the Skype show. 1 o'clock tomorrow, we've got the preview for Sevilla. So lots going on with the United stand. Big week ahead. 3 midfielders Manchester United need to sign this summer. Milinkovic-Savic, Fabinho and Fosu-Mensah needs to be put onto a bigger contract. Sort them 3 in. Fellaini, Carrick out. We're laughing. The midfield sorted. That's what we need to do. Get your comments in below. Let us know what you think. And I'll see you all tonight at 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching. I can't believe we're still arguing about the height of a player. I mean, the reality is, I don't really want him to play because of his bloody height. It's a bonus. His height's a bonus. It's like he's fast, tenacious, good in the tackle, and he's not 5'6". He's over 6 foot, so Mourinho will be happy. That's it. I don't care if he's 6'3" or 2.